and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Joncast podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about some more wrestling. Yeah, at this point, I'm not going to call myself a wrestling podcast, right? But I can't do that just yet. Today, we are going to be talking about the top 10 title defenses, my top 10 title defenses of Roman Reigns. Before we get into it, remember guys, this is just my opinion. I'm not stating like this is a factual thing. Hey, you know what? When you watch this, tell me what your top 10 are. Maybe top 5 if you don't want to do a top 10. But tell me if you agree, disagree, let me know. But before we also go even further into this, you can follow me here on YouTube. You can find me on X. That's where I'm mostly active. I'm sort of using TikTok now. You can find me there as well. I know TikTok is on its last legs right now, as we see. But hey, using it while it's here. So if you want to communicate with me, I do also little short videos there. So you can find me there as well. I'm also on most listening platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. What else? Other things out there. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. I should be better at this by this point in time. But yeah. I have transitioned back to also having this as an audio only thing, which seems like some people are enjoying. So thank you for those who do listen. And yeah. But I think that's all I got. So without further ado, let's start talking about this top 10. And remember,
you there, sitting at home, acknowledge me.
Number 10, Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul at Crown Jewel 2022. Okay, so for this, I tried to incorporate all the people within it one time. Because, you know, Roman Reigns had multiple title defenses against some people more than once, some people 3 times. I believe there's one person who was 4 times. So for me, starting at number 10, I chose Logan Paul because at the time, this was relatively early in Logan Paul's run into the WWE. And it was just a surprising, exciting match. It was to me, it was a very good match, and I felt like it was worthy of my number 10 spot. If you watch it, I mean, going into it, never really believed Logan Paul was going to win, right? But when we got there, it was a Crown Jewel event, and, you know, those events are very divisive in themselves. But we got Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. So going into it, Logan Paul was treated as a babyface at the time, and that's how he was being portrayed early in his run in WWE. And let me tell you, I am happy that they decided to let him be a heel and pretty much embrace being a heel, because even early on when they tried to make him a babyface, it just seemed like, you know, people just weren't feeling it, because, you know, Logan Paul has a reputation. So yeah, with this match, it was just a banger, like, you know, something I didn't expect. You know, at this point in time, we saw Logan Paul, I believe it was at WrestleMania, and then we saw him, I believe we saw him against The Miz. I might have my timeline wrong, how these events happen, but yeah, we saw very few matches. So when they decided to put Logan Paul in the ring across from Roman Reigns at that time, it showed that how much, you know, belief that the WWE at least had in Logan Paul. And yeah, this match, like, if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. It was at the time, it was a very surprising match. It was fun. It was built around Logan Paul and his one lucky punch at the time. So, you know, if he ever caught Roman, he felt like it could be over, and that's what pretty much the match was kind of built around. It was very exciting, and yeah, go check it out. Number 9, Roman Reigns versus the Demon Finn Balor, Extreme Rules 2021. So for me, with this match, I really enjoy seeing the Demon Finn Balor. I enjoy when he pulls that character out, and whenever we get to see him, I am a big fan. I loved it when I first saw it in NXT. I loved it when he pulls it out over the course of the years. I feel like they could do better with the Demon, specifically like when he pulled it out against Finn Balor. No, sorry, wrong person. When he pulled it out against Edge, it was definitely a moment of, like, okay, this is the stage that, you know, Finn Balor deserves to be on as the Demon, and he should have won that match. At that moment, I think Edge should have took the fall, and Finn Balor should have went over as the Demon, especially that was more of the infancy stages of the Judgment Day that we know now. So yeah, when in this match, you know, this to me, in the time that this was being built, this was in the middle of when John Cena came back, and John Cena was trying to challenge Roman Reigns for the title, and I believe Finn Balor got a match in the middle of that, and then eventually, you know, I think he lost, and eventually he pulled the demon out. And this match to me was just another fun match, another great title defense of Roman Reigns. I know some people don't really view this match that way because of how it ended, and even to this day, we never got the answer of what happened with the turnbuckle. Right, it was an intervention from God. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, like that moment that I clipped in the beginning of this, of when Finn Balor got laid out after being speared through the barricade, and you know, you see him convulsing, and you hear the demon, the heartbeat from his music playing over the arena, and then Pat McAfee, you know, being Pat McAfee, and that moment where he got up and he was just whooping everybody's ass. But yeah, I enjoyed that match very much, and I think I enjoyed it more than most people. But yeah. So that is my number 9. Number 8, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn, Elimination Chamber 2023. Now I feel like some people's reaction to this being my number 8 is gonna be like,
no, you did. Hey.
For me, I enjoyed the whole process. Sami Zayn being in the bloodline, we got amazing moments. You know, Uzi, anytime Sami was out there, you know, having them break character a lot, even got Solo to break one time, you know. I enjoyed the whole shebang. I enjoyed the match in Elimination Chamber. It was definitely great building Sami Zayn up. And this is also just, you know, a testament to Roman Reigns, building people up along the way. You know, he may have left too soon for some people, but the people that he helped build along the way, including Cody, is just, you know, this run has done wonders for them. You know, Sami Zayn, if you remember the first time that he defended the title against Sami Zayn, which was like a 15-second squash match that happened on SmackDown, and that's back when Sami Zayn was all about the conspiracy theory in his character. But now, you know, the crowd was so behind him in that moment, so behind him to the point that they wanted Sami to dethrone him over Cody Rhodes at that time. That was WrestleMania. Which WrestleMania? I think that was just WrestleMania Cold Hollywood, WrestleMania 39. And it was just Cody, you know, at the time, everybody was just like, you know, they wanted Sami to win the title and go to face Cody at WrestleMania. And that's just, you know, how good the storytelling was at the time. As, you know, when WWE was on its turnaround and, you know, everything was going great in the world. And yeah, it was just at that moment in time, you know, if you go watch this, the Elimination Chamber, even Sami making his entrance, one thing I never agreed with was when they decided to give Sami his old music back, they did it on the SmackDown before Elimination Chamber. And this Elimination Chamber happened, I believe it was in Montreal. I know it was in Canada, but I believe it happened in Montreal, which was home territory for Sami. And yeah, I just would have personally enjoyed the reaction to him getting that song back at Elimination Chamber. And, you know, everybody who doesn't love Sami Zayn's old song or current song right now, for most of us, it was just, you know, yeah. And Sami Zayn is just like the perfect underdog, right? When it comes to somebody who you don't believe can win a match, but does this amazing storytelling in the ring of I'm struggling, and he's going through the ringer, but somehow he's going to keep fighting and come through. And even, you know, Kevin Owens got back into it at Elimination Chamber. This is when they kind of officially started to become friends again. And then, you know, they eventually went on to tell a great story at WrestleMania when they dethroned Jay and Jimmy, the Uso brothers, at WrestleMania, and they won the tag team titles in the main event. That was an amazing moment. Just the whole storyline. If you can go back and watch everything with the bloodline, that whole section with Sami Zayn is just gold. When Sami Zayn joined the bloodline, it's just gold. It's chef's kiss. But I'm sorry, it's my number 8 title defense. Don't hate me. Number 7, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, SmackDown 2021. Okay, for this match, right, I believe that from a pure in-ring perspective, right, I think this is probably can be like one of the top 5 matches of the title reign, just from an in-ring perspective, right? But, you know, I'm thinking about a whole bunch of, you know, different factors, you know, how I felt about it, you know, entertainment value, you know, all that stuff that goes into it. So this came after Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns had that triple threat, and Daniel Bryan was on a warpath, to get the title, and at the end of the day, he got packed up and sent to AEW basically. But this was on a show, a SmackDown, a random show on SmackDown, and we just got it on live television, which was great. This was during the pandemic, and I feel like during the pandemic, because of there was no crowds for them, a lot of just in-ring stuff was elevated. And at this time, Daniel Bryan is probably arguably one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the world, probably one of the greatest to lace him up. And however you feel about that is how you feel about that. That's how I feel about it. Definitely could be like a top 5. I'm not going to sit here and name. That's a video for a whole nother day. If you want to see that video, we could talk about it. With this match, right, there was just so much riding on it with, storytelling, and even Pat McAfee on commentary. I love Pat McAfee on commentary. It's just it's a different experience. There's a lot of excitement. It's not like I believe his name was Moro Ronaldo. I may have his name wrong, and I apologize if I have his name wrong. But they have both of them. I love them for the excitement that they have on commentary when they're calling a match. Michael Cole is more the play-by-play, and the other guy is usually the color commentary, adding the boom. But Pat McAfee, I like him. I understand that these styles is not for everybody, but I enjoy him, especially during this match. Especially during the clip that I sent. Just during the end of the match. But yeah, overall, this is my number 7. And yeah, like I said, I feel from an in-ring standpoint, this is probably stands above the rest, only on in-ring. And I just feel like you can't not talk about this match, the match that got Daniel Bryan sent to AEW. So yeah. Number 6, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, Royal Rumble 2022. And here we go, coming in at number 6, Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. At the time when this happened, I was enjoying the build to the match. Seth Rollins was a heel at this time, but we supported him in the crowd at that moment, because even right after he came out of this, he was still a heel, and we were on him, we was with Seth Rollins at the time, and everything he was doing, I think that was the seeds of him when he did turn babyface, of how he would portray himself. But at that time, he was a full-blown heel still, and he was playing mind games with Roman Reigns throughout the whole build. And when we got to Royal Rumble, and when he came out through the crowd, with the Shield music, Shield gear, it was like, oh man, like I think everybody popped for that. I definitely did, for sure. And just, match itself, it was a great match, beautiful match, storytelling. And, people don't remember, I'm not going to say don't remember, but we don't talk about it enough, that Seth Rollins didn't lose that match. He won by DQ. Roman Reigns didn't want to let go while he was choking him out. Even though that informed events later with, Cody, when he won the title, of it being Roman's only weakness of the trauma that Seth caused him when he betrayed them in the Shield, and when he came out with the Shield gear again at WrestleMania. And shout out to Seth Rollins, working with the injuries that he was working through, just to make sure that those WrestleMania matches paid off. Just power to that man, and can't wait to see him back. And it's funny, I said on I forgot where, I think it was an episode, my podcast episode, maybe I said it in private to somebody, but I felt like Seth Rollins needed to go away, maybe turn heel, something, but it turns out that he got injured. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but I felt like his character was becoming stale. And I feel like in wrestling, when people disappear, it makes the heart grow fonder. And when they do come back, sometimes there's a just refresher, or just like just palate cleansing, kind of, you've been gone for a while, see you back again, and if you're doing the same role, at least I ain't see it too much, right? That's how I feel about some guys at times, that either, you need a change in character, change in direction. Sometimes you just need to go away for a little while, take a break. And, Seth Rollins, hopefully, his injury heals really well, and he enjoys the break that he deserves, rightfully so. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. But with Roman, and especially with this Royal Rumble, yeah, I kind of hope that they revisit a feud sometime down the line. Everything we got going on with the bloodline right now is going to be however long that takes. But, I hope that either, maybe we get another match to revisit this. Who knows? Like, I don't really feel like they need to tag team or something ever again. Like, if it happens, it happens. As long as the story makes sense, we good. But other than that, yeah. Number 6, that's where we are. Hey, look, you're already halfway through the video. We at number 5. Why don't you hit that subscribe button while you're here? Just hit it. Number 5, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, SummerSlam 2022. Brock Lesnar, at this point in his career, I think this is my favorite version of Brock Lesnar. When he came back with the flannel, the cowboy hat, and was doing his thing, this is the Brock Lesnar I think I enjoyed the most throughout his career. When he didn't have Paul Heyman and he was speaking on his own, and it was a fun run. And then we had this match at SummerSlam. I believe they had their WrestleMania match before this, which kind of I felt like it was lacking, but rumor has it, I don't know if it was ever confirmed, both of them got injured in that match, which is why it ended the way it did, kind of lackluster. And I think it was specifically Roman Reigns that got injured. I don't remember, but we got this SummerSlam match, which was fun. Brock Lesnar drove to the ring in a tractor. I mean, come on, like what more can you say? And he actually used it in the match. And yeah, this is just another title defense of Roman Reigns. And I think personally, of all the matches they had, this is probably the best one that they had. I think this is the last one that they had. I don't remember, not really sure. But yeah, I think this is the last one they had. I also think it was the best one that they had. It was just, hey, last man standing match. Just they kind of just went all out. And of course, this ended with the bloodline interference, and this match ended with them taking out Brock Lesnar at a ringside, and then burying him under damn near everything. Threw a table on top of him, threw a whole bunch of chairs. That's how that match ended. And it was just overall fun title defense. I think this is one of those matches, if you just enjoy wackiness in wrestling, this is one that you should definitely watch. Number 4, Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, SummerSlam 2023. And here we go. We got main event Jey Uso, who's now in your city. I did it. I'm not proud of it, but I did it. So for this one, we have Tribal Combat, right? Tribal Combat, SummerSlam 2023. Now, I know everybody, including me, don't like the finish because it didn't really make sense at the time. It still doesn't make sense. But, you know what? Before we go into this, right? This was the first match that I really felt like I bought into main event Jey Uso. We heard it before, we had a couple matches of him on the main event scene, but I just kind of felt like, earlier in Roman Reigns' title reign when we had I think we had maybe three matches with Jey Uso. And that's when we started building up main event Jey Uso. Jimmy was injured. I feel like history is repeating itself right now. Jimmy was injured, and we had this amazing run by Jey Uso. But this was, for me, the first time I was like, he could go by himself and just stay by himself. And, the way he gets crowd reaction, even today. But here goes my hot take. Here goes my hot take in the video. Currently, we have a King of the Ring tournament going on. I feel like it's a possibility we may have Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga in the finals of the King of the Ring, and Tama Tonga winning the King of the Ring, and that's how we get Jey Uso back into the story of the bloodline. Hot take. I picked Gunther to win. That's who I went to coming in. I was like, it's gonna be Gunther. But in the favor of storytelling, I think it's a possibility. Or even maybe Jey Uso gets taken out before the match against Gunther. We still get Gunther. I mean, somehow, someway, we got to reinsert Jey Uso back into the bloodline story, right? But that's a video another day. But this is when Jimmy got taken out by Solo, and Jey went to the Elders and challenged Roman Reigns to Tribal Combat, which was him also putting up the title of Tribal Chief. Roman Reigns said if he lost that he would, pretty much give him the title of Tribal Chief. And, you know, I know we all don't like to finish of the match, but hey, it happened. Jimmy came back, turned on his brother, and I think the only real explanation was that he didn't want to see his brother become like Roman Reigns, which sense I guess that made, even though Jimmy was the one who initiated the breaking apart from the bloodline. But in terms of the match, you know, we had just so much going on with this match, you know, and this was one of those matches where I really felt like, man, he could really do it, you know. And I think at this time, I'm not sure if we had Cody winning the Rumble yet at this time. No, sorry. Cody definitely did not win the Rumble by SummerSlam. Not sure if we were building, where were we in the stages of building Cody up? But when this match happened, I was all for it. I was with it. Honestly, I think Cody already lost. I might be wrong. I don't remember right now. I'm going brain dead. Hey, tell me. I might be wrong. But this was a match that, like I said, I definitely thought there was a possibility that maybe Jay would take the belt off of Roman, especially with what was going on at the time, how the crowd was behind them that night, all that. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about that. Number 4, Jey Uso. Main event, Jey Uso. Number 3, Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 37. Okay, so I know this one is going to be a little bit weird for those of you who are paying attention. I did say in the beginning of the video, or earlier in the video, that I tried to keep it, you know, one person per entry. But this one, you know, because it includes Daniel Bryan as well, that's why, you know, I know this is going to be weird. But yeah, it's a triple threat match. That's accepted, okay? Acknowledge it. So for this one, I believe this was the first WrestleMania coming out of the pandemic, coming out of the Thunderdome. And we had the triple threat, which was, again, awesome match. You know, I think every match here is, I've probably said that, so it's not really doing any favors. But yeah, this was the beginning of, I believe we're gonna smash him, then we was gonna stack him, and we're gonna hit him with the 1, 2, 3. I think this is when that originated. And yeah, this was just overall a fun match. I think this was like a total of like maybe like 40 minutes, maybe 30 probably, but I know this was I'm not saying a long match in a bad way, but this was a longer match, and everybody got their shine, and even the storytelling up to it. This was when Edge came back, I want to say the second time, right? This is because he came back the first time at the Royal Rumble, and I believe he tore his tricep in a match with Randy Orton, and he came back again, entered that Royal Rumble, and won the Royal Rumble. And then Daniel Bryan had the Yes Movement behind him, and got into this main event as well. And then we had this babyface heel, so we call it a tweener, Edge, going on, because he was losing his mind because it was supposed to be his match. It was his first opportunity at a championship, but since he retired the championship that he had, the World Heavyweight title. So there was all this story elements that were going into it, which was just awesome. And yeah, so that's my number 3. And I think my number 2 and number 1 is going to be a little bit controversial, but let's see. Don't come for me. Number 2, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 39. Okay, look, I know. Just hear me.
No, you did. Hey.
I mean, I feel like I have a good excuse, right? But you just gotta hear me.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay.
Alright, so now that we're done with that, to be clear, right? These are title defenses, right? I do not count WrestleMania 40 as a part of this video. WrestleMania 40, my opinion on that is in a whole nother video. I did probably, right after WrestleMania, sometime after that. So, this is title defenses. When we get to number 1, I'll explain why number 1 is number 1. Maybe some of you are clued into what number 1 is at this point. But, this match, right? I love this match. And I hate it all at the same time. I love it because in my heart at this time, I truly believe there is no way that Cody Rhodes is going to lose. I thought at that time that Cody going over at that moment was perfect, right? We had everything going on. The crowd was behind him. I was like, boom, was there. But the night of something in my heart said, Cody's not winning tonight. I don't know what happened. The day of, I was just like, nah, Cody's going to lose. They're not going they're not gonna give they're not gonna give him the title right now, and that's because I started to buy into the hype of how long Roman had the title, counting the days and all this stuff, and then they started bringing up Hulk Hogan and everybody else, and I was just like, man, I was like, there's something in my spirit just telling me that Cody's not gonna win. But Solo Sikoa with that bum ass hoodie, I'm gonna save my energy for number one. But yeah, this match was just, in terms of just in-ring storytelling, everything that led up into it, it was just perfect. It was just perfect. You know, it had the right sauce, making me believe that Roman was going to lose, and you know, just everything. We had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in it, and they came and kind of stopped the Usos, and they also, I think, the haluva kick got hit on Roman. He got hit with a stunner, and I was just like, man, Cody's gonna do it. But then Solo Sikoa came back out, hit him with that spike, and then Roman Reigns got that 1, 2, 3. In hindsight, looking back now, it's like, yes, it was a great decision for what happened afterwards, for the build that we got in the next year. The Rock being a part of it, your opinion on how The Rock got involved, whatever. But just The Rock's involvement, period. Cody Crybabies. I am a proud Cody Crybaby. I also do acknowledge the Tribal Chief. So, that's where I stand. But WrestleMania 39, like I said, I loved it. Just beginning to end, it was, at that time, I was like, it's probably like one of my favorite WrestleMania matches. I think right now WrestleMania 40 main event is probably like my favorite match ever. We had basically the Avengers level going against Thanos. That's how it was. But otherwise, just number 2. I don't know what else to say. I'm trying to think of more words for you before I get to number 1 because I'm stalling right now. But number 1. Here it goes. Don't come for me in the comments. Number 1, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, Clash at the Castle, 2022. And here we are. We made it. Number 1, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. This is personally my favorite match of all of his title defenses. Clash at the Castle was really a match that I love. It's dear to my heart. I love that match. I love the build going into it. Drew McIntyre was going home. And we just... The match itself, so many near falls. And even when we finally got to the end, before we get into the... One by one throughout the course until Clash at the Castle, Drew was taking out the bloodline. He took out Jay, he took out Jimmy. I believe Paul Heyman may have not been there as well. I might be wrong on that, but I just remember it was Roman by himself. It was him and Roman by himself, because we also built into the fact that during this title reign in the Survivor Series, we had Drew McIntyre as the world heavyweight. He was a WWE champion, and Roman was the Universal champion, and we had a match there, and Drew lost because of the involvement of the bloodline. And Drew was just like, hey, this is not going to happen again, and I've seen what you've done before, so he was systematically taking him out. So when we got to Clash at the Castle, it was just Roman, and at the time, I really believe, like, in the match, as the match was going on, I was like, they're going to do it. Like, they're going to give Drew the belt. I was ready for it. And especially, at that time, Drew won the title during the pandemic, and he never got that audience. We could talk about what happened at WrestleMania 40. But when he first won that title during the pandemic in the Thunderdome, he didn't have that audience. He deserved it. Just that, that pop from the crowd, and just have people there present, because the Thunderdome era was just different. So when, we got to that match and that clip that I put in, when we had the Claymore and we got that 1, 2, no, pulled out the ring, and then you had to reveal Solo Sikoa in that bum ass hoodie. Now, I keep calling the bum ass hoodie because I feel like ever since, anytime this man interfered, I know it's not anytime, but it just felt like it. This man would show up in that hoodie like I didn't know it was him at this point. And I was just like, yo, You need to get rid of that bum ass hoodie, especially when SummerSlam with Jimmy showed up in that bum ass hoodie. I'm like, no. It's like throughout WrestleMania 40, I was watching it and I was just like, yo, where's Solo? I was looking in the crowd and there's just mad people in the hoodie that night. It's just like pointing everybody. I was like, oh, he got to be there right there. There's a dude sitting in the hoodie. But yeah, this, and it's funny. Solo, I had just started. I'm not even gonna say started. I had just started seeing him more in NXT. NXT I have like a roller coaster affair with of watching it, not watching it. But I had just started seeing him, and I was like, I wonder if what's his relation to the Bloodline, and like all that Roman, and then I Clash at the Castle, and you thought he was alone. He was the one to show up, and I was like, I know who that is. Like I had just tuned into Solo, and I think Solo was actually, at that time, even though he joined the heel faction, I believe he was babyface in NXT. He had just won the North American title, I believe, but he had to, I think he either vacated it or he lost it as he went to officially join the Bloodline. But yeah, this was just, again, my personal favorite match. I just enjoyed it all together. And it was one that, like, before Cody came along, it's one that I truly believed as I was watching the match that, oh man, Roman was going to lose that night. And I was ready for it. But, the carpet got pulled out from under us, or me at least. So yeah, that is my number one. So there you have it. Another podcast episode in the books. Top 10 Roman Reigns title defenses. Why you there bashing me and talking junk about me? Because my list probably sucks. Tell me what yours is. Tell me what are some of your favorite title reigns? What are some of your favorite moments during the title reign? What did you think of Roman's title reign in general? Were you happy with him losing to Cody? Probably not, but who knows? But yeah, with the Roman, as champion, I think it's been probably like 2 months now, no, a month, probably been a month since Roman lost the belt, and it feels like it's been a year. Time just moves so fast, and we're in a whole nother phase of the Bloodline story, and it's awesome. Wrestling, like I said, is just so much fun again, and it's so hot, regardless of what you watch. AEW, WWE, I'm just an enjoyer of wrestling in general. I'm not going to pretend to have all the knowledge in the world of wrestling, but if it's in front of me and it's, good matches, good storytelling, I'm there. I enjoy specifically AEW and WWE for each of their own thing. And, right now, like I said, in this video, I just wanted to appreciate Roman Reigns in a way that I could, and that was just me doing my favorite title defenses. So yeah, that's been another episode. While we're here, how many times did you notice LA Knight in the video? At some point during the video, I was like, let me do something fun. I keep noticing I kept saying yeah, and I was like, how many times? Let's see. Let me know. Peace.